so overwhelming how much they follow the soccer that for another sport to make it, even the NFL, and those games are successful, one or two of them is fine, I do not think I'm ever going to see a franchise over there. I don't.
And plus, if you're an English fan, soccer games are 2 hours and done. That is it. I mean, maybe a few minutes on at the end, but it's 2 hours and done. You watch the first half, you go get a drink or a pint, because you don't leave your seat during a soccer game.
Right.
It's not like baseball here where you just get up all the time.
Yeah, because you might miss the goal.
You might miss the goal.
Right.
So you watch your first half, you go get your beverage, come back and watch your second half. 2 hours later, we're back in the tunnel or whatever.
Yes,
and
we're
then
back on the
And in
bus.
baseball, that might be the bottom of the sixth.
Especially these two games.
it was in the first game.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Yeah.
Well, it took
Most
almost
games-
an hour to play the first. What was it? The first time in the history of baseball, or first time in 50 years or something, that each team scored 6 runs in the first.
I was thinking
Each starting
I couldn't
pitcher
find a way to
didn't make it
research
out of the
that, but
first.
there was
Each starting pitcher didn't make it out of the first inning.
Right.
I think it might have been the only time, or close to the only time, that both teams scored 6 runs in one inning twice.
Wow.
And then the Yankees scored 9 in one inning in the second game. But that game was 4:42, and I think the other game was 4.5. But the only joke in return you could make is that cricket matches sometimes last for days.
Days, yeah.
Right. Although they play a version of cricket now that is a shortened version.
Mm-hmm.
But they were playing the full bore one. I do not understand the rules of cricket. I have tried to figure it out. I like watching highlights of it because you get these, the fielders don't wear gloves and they make some remarkable catches. But you can hit the ball like behind you for a home run.
There are players 360 around the batter.
Right. So you can hit it anywhere. Nothing's foul. But when they're describing it, and I listen to Talk Sports quite a bit. It's on the soccer channel on satellite radio, and it's the ESPN radio of England. So they won't just be talking about soccer on this particular enterprise. They'll be saying, well, it's 3:32 to 7, 6 wickets down, and I'm like,
I don't get it.
Holy moly. And I've sat and watched for a while sometimes and tried to, but they're not in the business of teaching you about cricket
I think if you're watching it, you already know.
So I can't pick it up quite yet.
First time since 1989 that both teams scored at least 6 runs in the first inning.
There you go.
Toronto and Oakland.
Been a
June
while.
23rd, 89.
Maybe I can find a YouTube tutorial video on cricket. But I'm not real. I'm not going to.
Also, on the Saturday mornings when the Premier League is off, and I'm doing my workout, which soccer's a brilliant sport to do for workout. You can do a half or at least or something like that. They'll have rugby on, Premier League rugby.
I don't know those rules either.
And those rules are a little difficult for me because I don't know when you're actually down and you kick it out of bounds and you sort of advance to there, and I need a tutorial on that too.
Yeah.
You can generally figure out what's going on. You're advancing the ball just like football, but when you can kick it, how you're deemed down or not down, when it's a scrum, it's still a little bit lost on me. Although I do find it enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I watch the Kansas City Blues once in a while. A friend of mine from childhood, Scott Cram, is the coach for the team, and I'm the guy that won't ask if I don't know. If I don't know the rules, but I don't want to be the guy like, what's going on out here? You know who goes to a lot of Blues games is former president of the Royals, Mike
Herman.
Mike Herman, and I've seen him there before. I saw Mike last year, by the way, at a fundraiser. He's still around, but he loves rugby.
Well, I went there one time, and the Blues sponsored an Irish football game, and it was like soccer with a round ball.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting to watch. But one thing I thought of when I was watching the Yankees-Red Sox game, and I didn't watch all of both games, believe me, but there was catcher's interference during one of the games.
Oh, they wouldn't have.
And I bet if there's a fan there, in America, what just happened? And like
hit the glove.
And then trying to describe what that is to a person who doesn't understand baseball, that would be really funny. That would be.
It's been 20 years or more than that. I sat in the press box at Kauffman Stadium
I remember
with a reporter from Germany.
Okay.
They were covering there was a dance troupe that was going all around the country, doing things. And he worked for Neue Press or something like that. And he was the reporter assigned to cover their tour. And while they were in Kansas City, they took in a baseball game, and he sat in one of the. Back then, you had a number of little booths in the press box, and only he and I were the only two in this. And I explained Major League Baseball to a man who had never seen a Major League game.
How'd that go over?
By the end of the game, he would figure things out. But it is an out. Well, that's an out. He is out. Oh, he is out of the game. No. It's an out. And explaining if the ball is sitting on the ground, if it's in the air, it's caught. Then try to explain force plays and
try to explain a balk.
But
why doesn't he have to tag him this time?
And I found it. It entertained me to explain this to him, and at the end of the game, there was a kind of a complex play, and he goes, "Oh, I see that happened because this." Like, you got it. He figured it out over the course of a 9-inning game.
Right, and I would like to do that with
really
with rugby,
cool.
Rugby or cricket or something. But that's what I'd have to do. I'd have to sit there and watch a whole game with somebody who had the patience to sit there and because all these situations would come up, and you'd easily, I'm sure you'd figure it out eventually, and it would really increase the enjoyment of it. Although I don't know if I'd want to sit and sip tea for 6 hours and watch cricket.
They have games so long you take a lunch break.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
A picnic.
Yes, you bring a picnic basket to it. See how clever we are at avoiding Royals baseball.
I was just going to say, I'd hate to get to it, but we're coming up on a break. so the break.
We promise Royals baseball next.
Yes, and I'll have a Billy Brewer story for you as well.
Nice.
Yes, you'll love it.
Wow,
no,
that's a great tease.
Not
right
that great.
There.
You're listening to the program here. My name is Brad Porter, in for Soren Petro. Curtis Seabold is here. Jed Marshall is running the show, and Danny Klinkscale is our guest for Danny Unleashed. You're on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker of Easton Roofing. And Joe, oftentimes people will wait to replace their roof until there is a weather event. What should they know about that?
Well, Danny, the important thing to remember is if you're going to turn in a claim to your insurance company, you want to make sure that you actually have damage on your home. If you turn in a claim to your insurance company and they send an insurance adjuster out, it's going to be a claim whether they give you $1 or $10,000. So it's important to make sure that you actually have damage on your home before you turn that claim in. And all you have to do is give us a call. We'll come out, take a look, and make sure there's real damage, and we'll tell you if there's not. Maybe it's just a small repair and it's not worth a claim. So it's always smart to get somebody you trust to make sure there's damage before you turn in a claim.
Quality advice and guidance from Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
This feels like the kind of music you would play coming out of a break on Saturday Night Live. Just a tight band, a really good band. Saturday Night Live band.
Late era Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
The Talking Heads.
Talking Heads.
Yeah.
It's got that late night kind of feel.
Oh, this isn't Psycho
This isn't
Killer.
Psycho Killer.
This is Up All Night or I don't know.
Life During Something. I don't know. The Slug didn't have enough characters.
I like Talking Heads far more than I did when they were popular.
Yeah.
When they were popular, I didn't quite get it.
Take Me to the River is still.
Yes, that was always
terrific
good,
song.
Yep.
I was dumb enough not to know that was a cover.
How Did I Get Here? I like that one. It's a good one. Yeah, he won't. By the way, this is the program, Sports Radio 810 WHB. My name is Brad Porter. In for
Musical
Soren
Talk
Petro.
brought to you by Easton Roofing.
Yeah. You got your Easton Roofing? You want to throw another shout out?
Of course I'll throw another shout out.
Go ahead.
Easton Roofing, founded on the principles of hard work, integrity, and customer service. Joe Spiker and their great folks will do fantastic work for you. Commercial, residential roofing. Integrity matters to them. They'll come out and one day, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned this last couple of weeks, I went in on a Friday. I'll go by the office every now and then. Joe was in there, and he was in the midst of making 117 calls to customers because it was during that really wet, rainy time.
Sure.
Just assuring them that the work would be done soon, and as soon as they could physically were capable of getting it done because, you can't go up on a slick roof.
Right.
But anyway, they're great people, and I love having them represented on my website, and I love talking about them here on Danny Unleashed. Visit eastonroofing.com for more information. And if you call the office today, Joe's a great business owner who has his staff off for the entire weekend, but you can leave a message, and I'm sure you'll get all the information you need, likely, with a call maybe from Joe himself on Monday. So visit eastonroofing.com for more information.
All right, we held off talking Royals as long as we could. We did mention Billy Brewer came up in a trivia question earlier, right?
Yeah.
He was on the team when I first started covering the Royals. My first year would have been fall of 93 or spring of 94, the strike year. Billy Brewer was on the team, Rusty Meacham, great bullpen. Not really. But my job was to go get post-game interviews for Don Fortune lined up and ready to go. And Billy was having a pretty good start to the season, so we had him on quite a bit. And then he went on a really bad stretch in the second half. And one day he walked by and he goes, "You don't need me for postgame today, do you? You haven't seemed to come around lately." And I said, "Sorry, Billy, we're good for now." But I liked him. I thought he was a super good dude.
There's a lot of, people want to hear the stories more of the people who aren't the good dudes. So it's, dog bites man is not news. You want man bites dog. But
Dean Palmer,
he was
a jerk.
He wasn't much, that's for sure.
Thank goodness
he was just more super quiet. He didn't want to talk, and he just didn't talk. So
one year
I don't know if he could talk.
One year the Royals traded for Jermaine Allensworth, who was here for like a week.
Oh boy,
and
that's a name I don't remember.
Yeah, he was with the Pirates, I think, and I went to interview him. How does it feel to be in Kansas City, Jermaine? I was a dumb kid, and he goes, "I don't know why I'm here. You already have 2 center fielders. That's the position I play. I really don't want to be here." Okay, Jermaine. Appreciate it. Jermaine Allensworth, not
and some guys
and the other Jermaine that we actually like.
Delightful to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Torrey Hunter was fun.
Oh, he's the best.
They played one. It was a Sunday, and they had the Negro Leagues uniforms, and they were dark, and the Twins had the navy blue thing, and I asked him after. I said, "What do you think about these uniforms? You like them?" He's like, "No, man. I mean, they look cool, but dude, think about it. It's 95 degrees outside. The sun is out. I'm black, and I'm wearing navy blue wool. We'll look at you. No, I don't like these." Of course, the entire time, that huge Torrey Hunter smile. He's like, "Oh, but they look cool, though. I like them, though. But man, they're hot out there."
He was the one who sent.
He was such a great player.
Fined or something? Or they told him not to do it eventually. He sent a bunch of cases of champagne to the Royals because they won the division because the Royals beat the Tigers, I think.
In 2006.
Right.
Royals swept them at Detroit and gave the Twins a division.
Yep.
Detroit went on to the World Series that year.
It's like Von Miller sent something to the Chiefs. Were they bottles of wine, something like that? Something really expensive?
Yeah.
Something really
Champagne
expensive.
or something.
So, with this Royals team, we've only got about 3 or 4 minutes left. We held off as long as they can. And look, the wins and losses are going to, I don't really care. All I care about is development. But another year or two of this, and you're getting close to losing the next round of fans who grow up watching this.
Well, I think the problem with the fact that they got so bad so fast was that you lost immediately the fans who were what you need in any real exciting time for the team. That they were hardly baseball fans at all. They just became fans of the euphoria and the fun and the Salvi splash and everything else. And if they just won some over the last, they did the first couple of years, they won enough.
Yes.
And if they were just a 500 team, you'd still have a lot of those people who have gotten in the habit of going out to the ballpark.
The last time that a team, they are steaming toward 100 losses. This year, the last time a team had back-to-back 100-loss seasons within 5 years of a world championship.
Marlins?
The 1915 and 16 Philadelphia A.
Wow.
Wow. Been more than a century since a team has lost 100 games in back-to-back seasons within 5 years of a title.
And for a while, it looked like the Royals maybe were rescuing themselves from that potential pitfall, but it looks like they're headed back there. A couple of things to look for me. Hunter Dozier hasn't been hitting since he came back from the oblique. You don't want to see that happen because that had been so encouraging. Alex Gordon has kind of steadied the ship after a flat spot, which saw him kind of regressing towards, he had a month-long stretch of a 5.13 OPS. Don't want to see him necessarily go back to that, or maybe you do if you want to see him retire or whatever. But besides that, just Junis looks like that ship's kind of maybe sailed a little bit. Maybe he can recover some things in the back end of the season, and maybe Brad Keller, you're looking for that too.
I think Junis, we just discussed this a couple of days ago, that we are now at the point where he cannot be in any discussions about who's going to be here when they're good. You could Keller, Junis, Keller. Now he's just pitcher.
Right. Could be a
Right,
bullpen.
right.
You cannot
Maybe.
string together any kind of
What you were
good